for wild animals, life is all about survival. And in this battle for their own place in the natural world, each has adapted in amazing ways, evolving unique abilities and anatomical mutations, allowing them to thrive in even the toughest environments. For all animals, passing on their genes is the reason for existence. But to attract a mate, they need to stand out from the crowd. Some sell themselves purely with looks or shows of physical strength. Others try to sing the loudest or demonstrate the smoothest moves. To fight off the competition and achieve the ultimate goal of reproduction, these animals all have their own unique rules of attraction. In nature, there are a myriad different techniques animals use to try and tempt a potential mate. They'll use whatever skill or asset they have at their disposal, even if it is just their feet. The Galapagos Islands in South America are home to over 6,000 blue-footed boobies who live here amongst the rocks. The boobies are incredibly proud of their bright blue feet and love to strut about the island, hoping to catch the attention of the opposite sex. Their feet may be a striking colour, but they're not well suited to the island's rocky shoreline, and boobies are notoriously clumsy on land. But their feet are much more useful when hunting. In the air, these birds transform into athletic and skilled hunters, performing impressive dives with deadly accuracy, then using their webbed feet to chase fish up to 20 meters below the surface. But it's back on land where the boobies really use their feet to show off. A male and female booby meet and start their incredibly elaborate and quirky courtship. The booby's blue feet become an integral part of the courting process. The male starts wooing the female by lifting his feet and displaying them with a high-stepping strut. The bluer his feet, the more attractive he is to the female. This one seems impressed. The male then starts sky pointing by directing his head and beak upwards and spreading his wings. The female copies the male's behaviour, revealing her approval for this new mate. Buoyed on by his success, the male then begins another ritual. He attempts to seal their relationship by picking up a twig and gently placing it at the female's feet. But just when things are hotting up, the romantic couple get some unwanted company. Another male approaches, and he seems intent on breaking them up. He uses his feet to intimidate his rival. They start fencing with their beaks. Eventually, the intruder gives up, and the young couple are free to carry on with their courtship. Boobies are not the only animals who are deadly hunters, but charming lovers. Indonesia, and one of the most fearsome animals on the planet is on the prowl. The saltwater crocodile. It is the largest of all living reptiles, growing up to 7 meters long and weighing up to 1,000 kilos. They are highly dangerous and territorial animals that attack scores of people every year. The Salty, as it's sometimes nicknamed, has a terrifying reputation. But despite their aggressive natures, crocodiles can also reveal another side. They are gentle and considerate lovers. The male has spotted a potential mate. They begin courting by blowing bubbles at each other. The male also releases an oily musk, which floats on the surface of the water. However, she's incredibly picky. But this male crocodile clearly has the right smell about him. The male gently rubs her head and strokes her back until the female either swims away or raises her body to encourage copulation. This female is receptive and allows him to mate with her. The male is almost 3 times her size and could easily crush her to death, but he shows a surprising gentleness that would put many mammals to shame. Copulation can last up to 15 minutes before the female swims away. Crocodiles use bubbles to entice, but other creatures have more unusual gifts to bear. One animal in Egypt has a particularly unique offering: dung. Dung beetles, or scarabs, play a vital role in the planet's ecosystem. They feed on feces and bury it, thereby clearing up waste and recycling its nutrients. They have excellent senses of smell and sniff out the dung, sometimes even stealing it from other beetles. This male scarab collects a huge ball of it. It weighs 50 times more than he does. He then rolls it along the ground, always following a straight line, despite any obstacle that may be in the way. He will use the position of the sun to navigate where he's going. The beetle uses its powerful back legs to propel the ball. He then presents this gift to a female. If she is interested in him, she will hop on board and hitch a ride. They continue the journey together, with the female his willing passenger. When a good spot is found, they stop and bury the ball before mating underground. The female then lays its eggs under the earth. The ball of dung is enough to feed a growing grub until it's ready to emerge and begin the cycle again. Dung beetles begin their life underground, emerging when fully grown. And in a river in Hungary, another creature is stirring beneath the surface, preparing for an extraordinary mating ceremony. This nymph is about to rise from the water, turning into an adult mayfly. Its one and only mission is to search for a mate. And these insects are truly against the clock. Mayflies have just 24 hours to find a partner and reproduce before they die. This mass gathering creates one of nature's greatest events. No one knows quite how these insects can synchronize their swarm, or why they gather in such huge numbers. When conditions are just right and dusk approaches, the spectacle begins. Groups of males perform a mating flight or dance over the water. Females are attracted to the dance and join in. They mate mid-air. Females lay up to 3,000 eggs, which sink into the water and then hatch after 45 days, beginning the cycle anew. The most eye-catching courtship event in Europe is also an impressive feast. The mayflies are attacked from all sides by hungry predators. Sand martins dive in, while fish lunge up from below to try to grab what they can. The mayflies are decimated. But for them, their job is done. Their millions of eggs, now drifting in the current, will ensure a mass emergence appears again and again, as it has done for millions of years. With a lifespan of just 24 hours, it's a race against time for the adult mayflies on their mission to find a mate. And there's an antelope in Africa that doesn't have much time to hang about either. At almost 300 kilometers long, Lake Turkana in Kenya is the world's largest desert lake. It is also home to the Topi, a type of antelope. The female Topi is fertile for only 1 day a year. And it's breeding season. There's a sense of urgency in the air as the males rush about looking to impress the females. The male Topi meet in large groups, and with such little time available, things get very competitive. Each gang of Topi has a small patch of land. The most dominant alpha males hold the prized central territories. This is immensely attractive to females. With so much at stake, the male Topis go to great lengths to defend their territories. These antelopes have an unusual fighting technique, going down to their knees and sparring with their sharp antlers. This male knows if he wins, the female will probably mate with him. It's not just having the best territory that attracts the females. The male Topi has other tricks up his sleeve. Sometimes they fool them with false alarms of nearby danger by snorting and snarling at imaginary enemies. This makes the female stop in her tracks and increases his chances of being able to mate with her. It's a cheap trick, but more often than not, it works. In the short period they're fertile, females mate on average with 4 different males, several times each. After a successful courtship, the male continues to defend his small patch of land. With their constant fighting over territory, the male Topis are doing their best to show off their dominance to the females. But when it comes to putting on a show, few animals can match the sheer extravagance of the birds that live in the tropical forests of South America. Manakins are particularly acclaimed performers who use a variety of skills to attract a member of the opposite sex. Flapping, dancing, and singing are all part of the repertoire used to win over the ladies. The wire-tailed Manakin is a particularly adept showman. He likes to show off his dancing skills to any female that will watch. But what's unusual about his dance is that male wire-tailed Manakins often compete in pairs as they attempt to win over a mate. A female arrives, and the dance-off begins. The pair take to the stage. They then start to get down and do their thing. It's a dance-off where the winner takes all. Competing males spur each other on to try out more and more intricate moves. One of the Manakins is convinced he's the best dancer and lets his rival know. The female makes her choice, and he is the winner. She leads him away to celebrate. For the loser, all his dancing has been in vain. Elsewhere in the forest, another species, the club-winged Manakin, is also using a very special skill to attract a mate. The club-winged Manakin sings using its wings. The males group together and, to attract a female, jump into position, choosing the most conspicuous spot in the tree possible. The manakins then start to vibrate their wings vigorously, over 100 times per second. This is twice as fast as a hummingbird. This intense vibration creates a high-pitched whistling noise used to alert the female of their presence. To withstand this fast speed, the club-winged manakin is differently designed to most birds. They have solid bones and feathers in order to create the vibration. Another male arrives and starts to whistle with his wings too. The two manakins then compete to see who can vibrate their wings and create the most impressive noise. But maybe they're just not whistling loud enough. No females come near. It's all been a flap about nothing. In a dense forest, sound is the most efficient way to tell a member of the opposite sex about your presence. Borneo is home to one of the richest rainforests in the world, with 10,000 species of plant growing here. In this thick vegetation, there's one unique primate that uses sound in both love and war. Found nowhere else on Earth, the Proboscis monkey is renowned for its extremely large nose, which is used to amplify their loud calls across the forest. The biggest nose in the pack belongs to the alpha male. His loud honking noises scare off any male rivals and attract a harem of female monkeys with their young. Every now and again, though, a male challenger will threaten his dominance. A cocky bachelor tries to muscle in on his patch and steal one of his girlfriends away. The alpha male climbs down and prepares for a showdown, using hogs as weapons. The jungle reverberates with the shrill noises of battling proboscis monkeys, while the female looks on. The alpha male's more powerful honk shows he's the boss and tells the challenger that he's the only one allowed access to the ladies. The young pretender backs off, but he's caught the eye of one of the female monkeys who likes his style. She's so impressed that when the alpha male monkey isn't looking, she sneaks off and meets up with this exciting newcomer. Female monkeys are notoriously fickle and are willing to play away if another male takes their fancy. This infidelity helps genetic variety, so improves the health of the group. She and the dashing young male engage in a secret encounter. The alpha male monkey remains unaware of her deceit. She returns to the harem and behaves as if nothing has taken place. Maybe ignorance is bliss, after all. Competition is fierce amongst the proboscis males when it's time to mate. But sometimes another approach is required. Teamwork. A saltwater lake in Argentina, and some performers are taking stage. Thousands of flamingos arrive here every spring to feed and to mate. Their stunning pink coloration comes from their diet of shrimp and algae, which they pick out of the briny water. The pinker the flamingo, the more attractive it is to a mate, as it reveals the general fitness of the bird. But flamingos do more than just show off their pink plumage in order to attract a partner. They join together to create something truly unique. With the birds in place, they start to perform a spectacular dance. Both the males and females participate in this huge exotic ball, which consists of several intricate and well-drilled moves. It's estimated some flamingos use a staggering 136 different dance steps to attract a mate. The more complicated the display, the more likely these exotic birds are to find a partner. Their dance usually begins with the head flag. The flamingos stretch out their heads and wave them back and forth. The dancers then spread their wings to display their black flight feathers in a move dubbed the wing salute. If a female is impressed with the male's dancing, she will leave the group and the male will follow close behind. Flamingos are monogamous, so the couple will stay together for the rest of the breeding season. They will rear their chick together before the colony flies back to Bolivia and Chile. The flamingo's stunning dance works because of the successful teamwork involved in synchronizing the moves. A mangrove swamp in Malaysia at night, and another brilliant display of animals working together is occurring. The trees are illuminated with flickering lights that dance in the nighttime sky. They emanate from thousands of male fireflies, all twinkling in unison. They're trying to attract females so they can mate. Each of these tiny flashes is sending a signal to a potential partner, a love letter in lights. Fireflies are actually tiny winged beetles. Their yellows, greens and reds are created by a chemically produced light from the abdomen called bioluminescence. The light provides information such as the species or quality of the mate. It's also the most efficient light ever made, as it's cold. This means none of the energy produced is lost as heat. The males cluster together because it means the females are all drawn to the same place, giving the males more chance of mating. The fireflies flash, and if a female is impressed, she will flash back. If she isn't, she remains in the dark. One flashing light in the darkness would be easy to miss, but a trefoil is likely to catch any passing female's eye. Nighttime is the right time for another animal looking for love. Here on the Caribbean island of Puerto Rico, as evening falls, the forests are full of a unique but piercing noise that reverberates throughout the trees. It emanates from a tiny but very noisy amphibian called the Coqui frog. The call of this frog may not sound like a love song, but it is. The term Coqui refers to the sound of the call produced by male frogs to attract females and repel rivals during the mating season. Only the male sings. He hears the ko and she hears the ki. The female Coqui frogs sit and listen and judge who is the most enthusiastic singer. She needs to assess which one is best suited to protect her eggs. Male Coqui frogs compete with each other and engage in a sort of singing duel. The frog that calls the fastest is most likely to win. Once a female is taken by the sound of a particular singer, she will move closer. If, after getting nearer, she is still interested, she will get close enough to touch him. This is what the male is waiting for. His little song has worked its magic. He then tempts the female Coqui frog into a nest site he chose earlier. Every time she touches him, he brings her closer. Once he has lured her into his nest, the frogs will embrace and mate. The male frog makes things cozy by laying a carpet of palm leaves. The love song he's been belting out all night has been a hit, and he's succeeded in his mission. After many hours, the female lays her eggs on a tree leaf, then departs. The male frog then takes on a paternal role and stays with the eggs until several days after they hatch to protect them from predators. Not only is he a good singer, but he's also a good father. The eggs won't hatch if they dry out, so he provides them with water through contact with his moist skin. Female tree frogs select the most dedicated males based purely on singing endurance. Other animals require a more physical battle. The piercing shrieks of a group of male black grouse can be heard for many kilometres throughout the Scottish Highlands. It's breeding season, and the males are gathering in a group. They're getting ready to perform their very distinctive courtship ritual. The females gather to watch from the sidelines. The males with the most impressive display will win her affection, so she watches with a keen eye. They fan out their white undertail feathers while posturing and jumping and uttering a range of bubbling noises known as rucooing. The bright red wattle above each eye becomes swollen with blood when displaying. The size of the wattle shows how much testosterone he has, an important factor when the female is making her choice. The males will also fight each other to prove their worth. The cocks intimidate their rivals by running at each other and sometimes spar in mid-air by flutter jumping. This black grouse proves his dominance. The female will usually mate with the victor in the hope that her young will inherit his healthy genes. Male grouse are surprisingly savage fighters who will do whatever it takes to prove they're the best match for a female. In South America, the capybara has a soft, cuddly image, but they too can exhibit a much darker side when it comes to asserting their dominance. The capybara is the largest rodent in the world, weighing as much as an adult human. They are semi-aquatic creatures with webbed feet and spend much of their time in the water. Capybara usually live together in groups of 20, with up to 4 adult males, 7 females, and the rest juveniles. It's an intensely hierarchical community, with the dominant male very much the leader of the pack. In the world of the capybara, it's this alpha male who gets the most females to mate with. These leaders of the pack are fiercely protective of their small harem. However, they are constantly challenged by other males who are keen to get access to his team of girls, and this sparks conflict. This alpha male will exhibit an unexpected aggression in his effort to maintain his supremacy. With his strong back legs and razor-sharp teeth, it doesn't take long for him to see off the challenger. Having won his skirmish, the triumphant male sets out to find a mate. As the females come into season, they put on a mating show of their own, emitting a strong odor and whistling through their noses. The male is instantly drawn to these intoxicating smells and sounds. But it's not going to be that easy. She still wants to be absolutely sure that her potential mate is worthy. She plays hard to get. Sometimes he will have to follow her for hours. Finally, her resistance weakens and she leads him into the lake. Capybaras always mate in water. She rolls over to show he's won her over. But all that fighting and following her around has taken it out of him. He's too shattered to perform. It takes a lot to impress a female capybara. But when it comes to fussy females, few can match a small creature in Africa, the weaver bird. she demands her potential mate create something of the highest quality before she will succumb. He has to build her a nest, but not any run-of-the-mill one. It has to be the finest nest in the world. It's breeding season, and the weaver birds are busy showing off their house-building skills to the females. Few birds can match the weaver's artistry in creating some of the most elaborate examples in the world. So exquisite are they that these nests compare with any human feat of engineering. Having chosen a good location, the male weaver bird twists strands of grass or leaves around the ends of branches using its beak. Having made a looped base, he will build the hollow body and then an entrance. These are amongst the only birds that are known to be able to tie knots. Competition is fierce though, and these birds get up to all sorts of dirty tricks. While this male is out gathering grass, his neighbour sneaks up on his nest and is attempting to steal some. The weaver birds know only the one with the most impressive nest will win the ultimate prize, being able to pass on their genes. Whenever a female comes near, the male stops its work and flutters his wings to get her attention. He's hoping she will come over and inspect his nest. The females are harsh critics, and each nest gets a thorough inspection. Only the best properties will pass quality control. She'll mate with the male who has the strongest and safest nest. Often the male will have to tear 3 or 4 nests down and start again until a female agrees that it's up to scratch. This can go on for weeks until his homemaking skills are so honed to perfection, she finally agrees to move in. The weaver birds use their nest building skills to attract a mate. But here in Indonesia, the jungles are home to a unique lizard with a more superficial approach to wooing the opposite sex. This Draco lizard is most renowned for his extraordinary flying ability, evolved to help flee his enemies. Revealing his secret wing flap, he soars from tree to tree, flying up to 9 meters in one go. But it's not actually this astonishing ability that impresses the ladies. He possesses an even more striking part of his anatomy. Whenever a female comes into his territory, he will suddenly unveil a flap of skin on his neck. Called a dewlap, it bursts into colour. But this female runs away, so the Draco uses another weapon in his armory. Time to bring out his dance moves. It's a display designed to show size and strength, but is it enough to win her over? He waits to see her reaction. She flashes her own dewlap. In Draco language, it's not good news. She's not in the mood. But these are determined lizards. Not giving up, he pursues her through the trees. Like all animals, he has an innate urge to pass on his genes. But first, he needs to prove he has what she's looking for. But today, his mission to reproduce has been to no avail. In her own quest for survival, this female has only one thing on her mind. She's hungry for ants, not love. In the race to reproduce, she can take her time. With an abundance of males, she has the power to choose who will help her create the next generation. She carries on with her feast and waits for a more impressive performer to cross her path. Nature is a harsh place where only the most determined suitor will succeed. You just have to try and try again. For many species, standing out from the crowd is the key to being chosen. And this makes them do the most surprising things. It turns an aggressive beast into the gentlest lover. A normally placid animal into a vicious fighting machine. It can transform the clumsiest animal into a dancer. Or the shyest bird into a musical maestro. The desire to pass their genes on to the next generation makes animals put on an extraordinary show. Because they will do whatever it takes to survive.